Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkey with let me start over again. Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkey with StartupTrading.com. It is 8:50 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, July 16, 2020. So, sorry about no sound yesterday, and we'll get with it today. So, uh, basically, what we've been stalling out at in the last couple of sessions is trying to get into this gap that goes back to February 21st through February 24th, right? That Sunday or Friday to Monday gap, right? And so, really, this also ends up being tied into very close to the flat line for the ES for the year. So, if you look at where on the cash market the SPX closed for the year, that's right around the top of this gap also. So, the bears have been trying to get the S&P 500 positive for the last few sessions for the year, and get back up into the areas that we broke down to and potentially all-time highs. And the bears have been trying to defend that, saying you're not going positive for the year, which is really just a BS line in the sand, right? But traders use it for whatever reason. But I don't think that this is I think it's more important than the flat line of the year is that you also look back and see on the chart, right, as we come up, right, up to here, when we broke down, this is the area that we broke down from, is that was the largest gap. So the flat line could be a little coincidental or not. It really doesn't matter, but that's what it is, and you can be sure there'll be headlines with it. So right now, again, we really need to get over basically 32.25 to 32.35. So we're basically 30 to 40 points away from that right now. We'd be opening up under 90, right around 95. So we'd be opening up right around the bottom of yesterday's candle if we get in there. So keep in mind that if we fail here, there's potential to roll back and go through this zone, but this is the consolidation that we had for quite a while up to 3104, and then I'm really not going to get too bearish on the push and pull. I don't want to be over dramatic to say that if the bulls can't run it up today, we're going back down to 29 but that is on the table once we get back into this range to see how it goes, right? We could get accelerated selling coming into there. So looking at the overnight action, and let's zoom out and look at the last few sessions as well. Really this 3171, let's call it, is the line that we're above right now. If you look at the level 4s on the chart for today, which is a barometer I like to use to see what potentially the max range could be, you're looking at 3144 to the bottom and 3295 to the upside. So as you look at that range, we're likely not to hit any of the extremes on any given day, right? But you could hit a level 2 either side, right? So if the bears are going to continue down, we could see 3176, 3160, but breaching this 3171 is going to be what's a little bit more pivotal for going back and having a little bit deeper of a pullback, and how much time and energy is spent below 3171, if any, today. So as we zoom into the more recent action, you can see that we've lost value area low, opened up. The high of the session was shortly right after it opened up, come back up here, and no one wanted anything to do with getting above the 32.35 overnight early. So what's happened is there's been retail selling overnight, and almost all of the overnight volume is retail. So there are some professional traders from around the world that trade in there, some institutions around the world that hedge, but the vast majority of all the overnight action always is retail traders. So they've got themselves short right now, net short. So we've been opening up near the high of the range and failing to go higher. So with us opening up near the bottom of the range today, I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting. So one thing I don't usually show each day is what I'm looking at. I look at a 1600 tick chart with just a value area high and low on the grays, and the overnight value areas, which I'll send out shortly after the bell opens, is the pink and green lines. So you can see, we'll zoom in just to the last couple of days of action, but we're right around this 3188 where we bottomed out. That's really the top of the range from Tuesday's session, right? Wednesday we spent, yesterday going sideways, so we had a little bit of a liquidation break in the after hours, and that's all we are doing right now. And if I look, the numbers that I had before I come on the air, and these will change a little bit before I come up, but 31.94 to 96 is the bottom of the zone. So we're right in the value area low zone right now, slightly above it, with the point of control at 31.99, and then basically 32.06 to 32.10 is the higher end. So getting over 32.11, 32.15 is going to be a little bit more of pivotal if that does indeed happen today. So keep that in mind. So looking at all the indexes, overnight high above yesterday's high, right around the point of control for the NASDAQ, right around yesterday's high for the ES, right around value area high for the Dow, overnight lows below the previous day's low, below the previous day's low, below the previous day's low. And if I look at the Russell, right, its overnight low is right on value area low. So no selling here for the Russell. And we had a little bit of tighter ranges. I will also let you know that there is prominent point of controls for the ES and the NASDAQ. So being above or below the point of controls is a small bias, but being above the from where we're coming now, getting back above these points of control for both of these indexes would be very bullish. So looking at sequences overnight, you can see it's been the bear's night since we come in, right? The bear chart on the lower is winning. These on the left are from yesterday's action. And this is the bull's action on the top. So same thing with the NASDAQ, right? Bulls in control. But if you look at for the NASDAQ, coming out of this low at 10,485, right? We're holding the 61.8 at 10,515.75 is what we've held. So if we trade 10,585 basically before taking out 10,514, that's going to be more bullish on a short term. But if you look at where the line in the sand is just for the overnight session, and these are micro draws, right? You really shouldn't trade off them. I'd use them just for bias to see where the traders are leaning. So 10,617 is really, the line in the sand for the session. Looking at the Russell, same thing, selling the 38.2 or selling the 61.8, selling the 38.2, selling the halfway back short. And if you notice, when they sold this halfway back short, the target for this is 1457.1. So getting back up above 1477 is going to be where the stops are for these bears overnight. And the bulls have nothing going at all at this point in time. So looking at the ES, and I'm going to be make this a little short. Really, this 32.19 is going to be my first line in the sand, getting back above it, getting a push. Otherwise, we're in this range right now of, on the longer term chart, 31.80, let's call it. And then below there, you've got basically 31.30s, 31.29 half. Looking at the NASDAQ real quick. So getting back above 10,562 is going to be a little bit more bullish for me. Staying below, you've just got little weak supports at 10,506, 10,463, 10,380, and then below that, 10,285. Above these, you got 10,669, 10,748, and 10,940 is really what I'm looking at. Looking at the RTY real quick. The RTY is holding this 1462.60, and it's holding it, convincingly so far in the overnight. Breaking below that, we could easily get to the top of this consolidation, which is 1448, and then you're looking at 1433, and then, basically right around 1425 21. Above 1496.30 and 15, let's just call it 26. We won't do the Dow, so let's look back at all the indexes one more time. And again, watch these points of control. Watch the reaction after the bell rings. Give it like 20 minutes to let the market on open clears, and then see what we're doing, right? Are we going to start, testing the lower ends of this? Because it is the bears, right? They should have sellers above because they got some bulls trapped. And if they can't trap these bulls and we start going back into value and start progressing back through, there's two scenarios that play out, either an inside day, right, or you finally get that bake and push above. I'm still leaning long, basically above those 3170 levels. I'm looking for places to get long and go with the trend until I see us break the 3170. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.